for Trump.
I go for Donald Trump. Me too. I go for Trump.
Trump, the best.
Nah, I'm a Trump supporter.
I'm a Trump supporter, man.
Trump.
Hey, y'all know we gonna need Trump in that joint.
But everything Trump over on this side of town.
Look at my African American over here. Look at him. Are you the greatest?
Please disperse. Nothing to see here, please.
I'm going to go ahead and just speak some truths, if you don't mind. Because my understanding, based on reports I'm getting from campaigns and communities, is that we have not yet seen the same kinds of energy and turnout in all quarters of our neighborhoods and communities as we saw when I was running.
Oh, no, he didn't.
Now, I also want to say that seems to be more pronounced with the brothers.
Man, if you want to sit your biscuit head ass down somewhere, like, ain't nobody trying to listen to you, bro. You didn't get the memo. The community ain't fucking with you, dog.
This message is for Barack. Ain't never did a fuck-ass thing for niggas in the 8 years he was in the White House ever. Obama. Keep black men's name out your motherfucking mouth.
Wow. So I guess they sent out Barack Obama to scold black men, even though he's speaking to them like they're children. Basically, Obama is accusing black men of being sexist because they don't want to vote for Kamala Harris because she's a woman. There's no other reasons. You know, he says, I don't want to listen to your excuses. Obviously, you're just sexist.
And you're coming up with all kinds of reasons and excuses. I've got a problem with that. Because part of it makes me think, and I'm speaking to men directly now, part of it makes me think that, well, you just aren't feeling the idea of having a woman as president.
They don't believe you're sexist, but they do believe you're stupid. Instead of coming out and respecting your intelligence and maybe addressing the issues like the last 4 years, addressing the economy, addressing the border, the fucking border that is literally in a state of crisis right now, a disaster zone that was caused by the border czar and your Democratic Party that has affected all aspects of people's lives, especially the economy. All the resources that's going into not only to try to correct the problem you caused at the border, but all of the money that's going to illegal immigrants and migrants, the siphoning of resources, taking over schools, jobs, not addressing the fact that people can't afford to put gas in their car or food on their table, the inflation, the price of food, the education system, that there are states, there's some states where their public education system are failing so poorly. There's some states where people, the children, especially black children, can't even read at their age level. They're failing. Teachers are leaving in droves, in the dozens because they can't control the classrooms. Because you guys decided to focus more on race and gender identity than actual education and preparing people to be adults and adult in the real world. He didn't address the billions upon billions upon billions of dollars being sent overseas to Ukraine, to Israel, to multiple other countries. But Americans are suffering. Supporting proxy wars. We know why he won't say that. We know why he won't criticize the proxy wars that the government has got Americans into, because he's one of those war-loving Democrats. He didn't address the fact that the Democratic Party has failed to put American first and Americans first. I know, like, they try to separate everybody, but black men are also Americans. The black men who live here are citizens, they're Americans. He didn't address that. The younger generation can't even afford to be homeowners. The American dream is no longer a dream that can be tangible for most Americans today. And I'm not saying that's all the Democratic fault. I'm not saying that all happened in the 4 years. But instead of coming out and addressing the reason why people are hesitant to vote for Kamala Harris, he's going to accuse them of being sexist. Not that every time she opens her mouth, she sounds like she's drinking a whole box of wine.
Never let anyone take your joy from you. I call myself a joyful warrior. right?
Not every time somebody asks her about her policies and how she's going to help Americans in America, she goes off on some tangent about how she's a middle-class citizen.
When we talk about bringing down prices and making life more affordable for people, what are one or two specific things you have in mind for that?
Well, I'll start with this. I grew up a middle-class kid.
I know you say that your values have not changed, so then why have so many of your policy positions changed?
I grew up a middle-class kid.
Not how she brought up Meg the Stallion to twerk to pander to the black community.
Sorry, Obama, I'm a black man and I'm voting for Donald Trump for president, and there is no amount of lecturing or bullying or shaming that you can do that is going to make me change that decision. I am not afraid to vote for Kamala Harris because she is a woman. I refuse to vote for Kamala Harris because she has spent the last 4 years destroying this country. She has spent the last 4 years throwing up the borders to illegal immigrants. She has spent the last 4 years destroying this economy. We have seen over the past couple of months that she is not fit to be president. She can barely speak. She can't articulate a vision. And actually, she's pretty stupid. And if you think that I, as a black man, am going to let that waltz into the White House, that is going to get my vote because you're lecturing me and you're bullying me, and you may be the surrogate black dad for a lot of fatherless black boys that are running around this country, but I got a dad, I know who he is, and it ain't you.
The way he spoke to them was not man to man. It was boy. You are a boy. You don't know what you're supposed to be doing, boy. I'll tell you who to vote for, boy. I'll tell you how to live your life, boy. He wasn't speaking to black men like they're men. He was speaking to them like they're... Even the way he said pookie. Oh, I'm talking to the pookies out there. I'm talking to the ignorants, the ghetto trash, the uneducated. That's how he came off. Not like a level of respect, man to man. That's how he came off.
You as a person, and you're thinking about sitting out? I'm not. But, because of cooking might be.
Instead of just addressing the issues and the policies and the reason why black men are upset, he tries to relate to you by calling you brother, but at the same time talk down to you like you a boy. He didn't even address the hurricane victims. And I know this is supposed to be like black men specific, but did he not think black men suffered at the hands of the hurricane? He didn't even address the fact that there was not enough money from FEMA to help those American citizens, including black men. He didn't even address that. He didn't address the horrible pulling out of Afghanistan. Black men are enlisted in our army. He didn't address the pandemic or anything. He tried to ramble off some list of things of this is what you should be voting for. These fake policies that no one ever heard Kamala Harris ever speak. Because Kamala Harris doesn't have any policies because she's flip-flopped so freaking hard. She doesn't even know what her talking points are anymore.
Have a choice that is this clear. When on the one hand you have somebody who grew up like you, knows you, went to college with you.
Went to college with you? What is he talking about? None of these men in this room went to college with Kamala Harris. But it's this weird thing of trying to pull on your empathy and emotionally manipulate you instead of just talk about the issues.
Understands the struggles and pain and joy that comes from those experiences.
Oh my God, this is so hard to listen to. What? This is why fathers need to be in home, because women tend to fall for stuff like this more, or feminine men, this sort of emotional thing, oh, she understands your struggle. How does she understand my struggle? I was severely abused as a child. Was she severely abused as a child? Or do you think our suffering only comes from our blackness and our sex? What is he talking about? Again, if I came here to listen to what policies are going to be put into place to make Americans' lives better, and this is what I was told, I would be extremely insulted. You know how Donald Trump never pretends to understand? He never acts like he gets the working class or how it is to grow up on a farm or be a trucker or a plumber. He never does that. That's condescending. He does not talk down to you by speaking in a way that that's like bourgeoisie and academic and stuff like that. Like, he talks very common, but he doesn't pretend to, I understand what it's like to wake up in the morning and eat my cereal and my pajamas. He doesn't do that. That's condescending. What the hell is this?
And is putting forward concrete proposals to directly address the things that are vital in our neighborhoods and our communities, from housing to making sure that our mothers and our fathers and our grandparents can afford medicine, and making sure that we are dealing with prices that are too high and rents that are too high, and are committed to making sure that we maintain the Affordable Care Act, so everybody's got health care, and cares about things like education and entrepreneurship in our neighborhoods.
Question: when, where, and how? When, where, and how? Why not the last 4 years? And again, speaking of the policies they're promising to enact when Kamala Harris is president, but can't enact right now while she is vice president and still in the White House. But just trust us, we're gonna do it. We promise. Just vote for us. And I love how he like to try to bring the mama thing in again, the whole sexist thing. Like, oh, you guys think women are weak, but your mama and your aunties, they strong women. What does our moms and our aunties and the strong women in our life have to do with anything with Kamala Harris?
I'm speaking to men directly now. Part of it makes me think that, well, you just aren't feeling the idea of having a woman as president. Well, how can that be? Because the women in our lives have been getting our backs this entire time. They've been raising us and working and having our backs. And when we get in trouble, when the system's not working for us, they're the ones who are out there marching and protesting. And so now you're thinking about sitting out.
I love my mom and I love my aunties. I don't want any of them to be president. They're great women, they're great mothers, and they're strong women. Still don't want them to be president. But even the case, even if I wanted my mother to be president, what does it have to do with Kamala Harris? They're not comparable. My mother is a much better woman, black woman, and human being than Kamala Harris would ever be. So what does that have to do with the other? Again, they're hoping that you're still kind of stupid. See, your mama black. Kamala Harris is kind of black. See, the same thing. If you love your mama, you gotta love Kamala Harris. Like, it's not the same thing. The whole race politics is not the same thing. One has nothing to do with the other. If I love my mama, and I think she's a strong woman, doesn't mean that I have to then think Kamala Harris is the same. But again, they're trying to play on your empathy and your low IQ. Like, it's so stupid. One has nothing to do with the other, and it has nothing to do with sexism. I'm not saying there are no men out there that wouldn't vote for a woman president, but this has nothing to do with sexism. I haven't heard one criticism that's directed towards her sex. Not one. This whole time, I haven't heard one person say, oh, because she's a woman. Not one person. But again, let's just create a narrative and run with that instead of the actual truth. Like, would it kill them? Would it kill them to just address the actual issues? It's like they're allergic to it or something. One other thing before I go, Barack Obama did attempt to do the fear-mongering with Donald Trump. I mean, though we already had 4 years of Donald Trump and nothing ever happened. And talked about a long history of what? This sort of weaving and woven narrative storyline that you try to feed to Americans is falling apart, that Donald Trump is some sort of raging racist. Kamala Harris is the one who locked up a black single mother because her kid had sickle cell and she missed too many days of school. Kamala Harris is the one that locked up innocent black men and tried to keep them in prison. But Trump is the one with the long history. Okay, sure.
And that's on one side. And on the other side, you have someone who has consistently shown disregard, not just for the communities, but for you as a person.
Wow, they must really be terrified. They didn't brought out the big guns, Obama. They're starting to realize that more and more of us have been waking up and seeing how they try to get us to vote, not for the person who's best for our communities and who has the best policies that are going to bring positive change, but they want us to vote based on skin color. We see how Kamala Harris did black men when she was the top cop in California, Jamal Truelove. We see how she locked up a single black mother because her child missed too much school, when in reality, the child had sickle cell anemia and was in the hospital. We see how she was brought brought in as the first black woman vice president played a part in our cost of living going up, our groceries going up, our gas going up, our border being let open for the entire world to come in, and people who've come here illegally getting preferential treatment over people who've been in these communities for decades. Our children being put last, illegal immigrants' children being put first. We see how the media told us that Trump was going to be the one to start World War III, and how under the Biden-Harris administration, we're on the brink of it. We see how the Democrat Party has failed our community, how they've hidden their history of trying to continue slavery, trying to keep blacks from voting, trying to keep Jim Crow going, being the party of the Klan, how they would take us out. And I ain't talking about to eat when we chose to vote Republican. We see how they have Planned Parenthood buses outside of their conventions and target our community. How insulting is it that this man gets up there and tells us that we should vote for Kamala because we're black? Sorry, Obama, the gig is up. It's over.
People want to act like Trump is the worst motherfucker in the world, but guess what? He was already president, and all this shit you talking about didn't happen.
Anyway, I think this massively backfired. Don't think it is doing what they think is going to do. I don't think they realize Barack Obama does not have the power that he used to have. I even think if Barack Obama ran today, he would still lose.
Hey, what's going on? Hey, man, I had to make a video because these past 2 days, what I've seen on TikTok, the response from what Barack Hussein Obama said about black men trying to chastise me, a man in his 50s who fought for this country, who has worked in law enforcement. This guy gonna tell me who I should vote for just because she may be black or she went to HBCU. But the response I've seen these past 2 days, it has been remarkable. I'm telling you, man, it's almost brought a tear to my eye to see the brothers come out and defend one another. And check this out, right? This is organic. It ain't like that we got together and had a Zoom, like that fake crap that Kamala had when she first was anointed. They came out, we got a Zoom for black men for Kamala. We didn't have a Zoom. What we're doing right now for the Conservative Party and for Donald Trump, it's organic. It's from the bottom. We didn't get together and hold a Zoom call. The black women who supported Donald Trump, they didn't get together and have a Zoom call, black women for Trump. The white women who supported Trump, they didn't have a Zoom call. The white man, the Asian man, there was no Zoom call. This is true organic. It's real. That crap they did for Kamala back here when she first was anointed, it was all fake. They really didn't like her. They still don't like her. They just hate Donald Trump.
I think they were hoping you were still dumb and stupid and blind. That they believe black people don't know how to be critical thinkers because they don't believe black people are supposed to vote on policies. No. You're supposed to only vote on race or fear-mongering. Racism, sexism, all the fear-mongering they do around election seasons. Don't pay attention to the policies, no! Don't pay attention to the economy, the education system, the medical system. Don't pay attention to the border. No! She got brown skin. Pay attention to that. Pay attention to the one thing that Kamala Harris had nothing to do with, that she had to actually put no work into. She was born with brown skin, therefore vote for her. They were hoping this was going to work, and it didn't. But you guys let me know what you think of this whole thing of Barack Obama kind of coming out and trying to bend over black men and give him a spanking, like he's their daddy, the zaddy. And if this makes you feel a certain type of way as a man, as a woman of color, as a man of color, black man, black woman, whatever, let me know how this makes you feel, because when I saw it, it made me feel gross. It gave me the whole Biden, if you don't vote for me, you ain't black. The whole they never actually switched sides, that they're still the masters on that plantation. The way Barack Obama spoke to black men was, you a boy, not a man. Anyway, let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. Please like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell, get the notification when I do upload. All of that really does help with the algorithm, guys. And if you support this channel even further, which will really help more than ever. My channel is severely shadow banned, so I'm trying to keep my channel afloat. So really help if you like, comment, and share. If you'd like to support the channel even further, you can donate. My PayPal and Cash App link is in the comment section down below, or you can super thanks. And you guys have an amazing, beautiful day. Bye.
I vote for Trump. I go for Donald Trump. Me too. I go for Trump.
Trump the best.
Nah, I'm a Trump supporter.
I'm a Trump supporter.